JF Stretford Paddock, this is the paper talk. As you can see, I'm not outside Old Trafford. I'm not in the studio. I'm in a cupboard. No, I'm not. I'm in, I'm in my lady friend's office at home, giving you a quick update on the latest Manchester United news because I'm doing a long one today. I'll be back later on tonight for the Paddock Live with Joe Smith. So make sure you're checking that out on the channel a bit later on. We're also going to have David Scott in. He's going to be meeting up with Joe Smith. They're going to be doing Round Our Way. That's the sort of latest sort of news and updates that we do, and also your questions. So make sure you get questions in for that on the community page. I'll put a little note on there. Go and check that out. But let's get straight into it. We've got a few stories to get through today concerning Manchester United and transfer targets, and it looks like there could be a little bit of unhappiness from the Cristiano Ronaldo camp. There's a story that broke last night that Ronaldo reportedly, and this is a sentiment that a lot of United fans will understand, is a little bit worried about Manchester United's lack of transfer activity. This was a story that was in there, I think the Daily Mail, but it originated from, I think this was a report from AS. I think that's over in Spain, I think it is. They're saying that Cristiano Ronaldo is a little bit concerned about United's transfer strategy and has doubts about seeing through the final year of his contract with United. Now, that is a little bit concerning. I feel sorry for Erik. It's not like he's not got enough to deal with. He's got a team that have just finished sixth. We've lost a load of players. We haven't signed anyone yet. And now it looks like our top goal scorer and, arguably the greatest player of all time could be unhappy and could want to leave. Now, we have to take these rumours, reports with a pinch of salt because we've not heard anything concrete yet. This could just be a little bit of mischief making from certain Spanish outlets, but it is worth keeping tabs on because you could understand someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, who he's 37, he's 37 until he's 38. He hasn't got many years left at the very top, and he wouldn't want to be wasting one of those years at Manchester United if United aren't serious about challenging again. And if we don't make any transfers, you can argue that we're not serious about challenging. You can't finish sixth, lose the likes of Cavani, Mata, Matic, Pogba, and whoever else is going to go out the door, not sign anyone, and then say, oh, we're serious about challenging. The one thing I will say is I'd be very surprised if we don't sign anyone this window. I don't think it's panic stations just yet. I was saying this on the Paddock Live last night. Yes, it's a little bit concerning when you see the likes of Spurs going turbo in the transfer window. They've bought in Basuma. They've bought in Perisic. I know they've got Fraser Forster as a backup keeper. There's also been links with the kid from Middlesbrough who's on loan at Forest, Jed Spence. You look at City and Liverpool, if you've got to look at them as rivals at the minute in terms of league positions, they've gone and done their business relatively quickly. I know City were obviously working on the Erling Haaland deal for quite some time, but Liverpool got their Darwin Núñez business done quickly. We've been sort of dragging our heels, if that's the right term, with the Frankie de Jong or the Frenkie de Jong even signing. That's getting turning into only a little bit of a saga now, where you think this is back and forth and what is going on and are we going to see any movement there? We've also been linked with practically the entire Ajax squad. Nothing quite happening there yet. I'll have a little update on something that I don't know in a minute. So you can understand Cristiano Ronaldo's frustrations, if in fact he does have them. But I don't think we're at panic stations just yet, although you would want to see some action sooner rather than later. Don't forget, we fly over to Bangkok in, June the 9th or whatever. We've got a game over there, June the 10th, whatever it is. Sorry, July the 10th, I think, or around that time. So ideally, you'd want some signings in before that so they can go away on pre-season with you. It's not the end of the world if that doesn't happen, but it does make Erik ten Hag's job all that little bit more difficult. And that's the last thing he needs. He's already up against it anyway, trying to catch the likes of City and Liverpool and even Tottenham and Chelsea, really. So he needs some signings. Hopefully, those will happen in the next few days. One of those signings that we were linked with that went quiet was Jurrien Timber. Now, at one point, it looked like he could be coming to United. Then it looked like it wasn't going to happen. Now it looks like, again, I don't know how much you want to take in looking into this, but there was a report last night, I saw it online, or just tweets doing the rounds, that Revien Kane, is that how you, Kanai? His representative was in Manchester. He posted on his Instagram story saying, a picture of Manchester. Manchester at dusk, by the way, the city centre at dusk. There's no finer sight. Forget Barcelona and Madrid and Turin and all that. Manchester's where it's at. Anyway, he posted a picture that he was in Manchester. People looking at it going, does that mean Jurrien Timber is going to sign for Manchester United? I don't think so. I'll be honest with you. I'm not being ITK. I think it's a bit of a stretch to go, that means Timber he's suddenly done a U-turn and he's going to sign for Manchester United. I think the kid, Revien Kane, if I'm getting that right, represents quite a lot of players as well from what I've seen. So he might not necessarily be on Timber-related business. We don't know. But it's just one of those stories that's sort of been picked up by a few websites and online it's doing the rounds and people going, oh, could that mean Timber's on his way? As always, we'll keep you posted, but I don't think we can look too much into it, unfortunately, because he is a very good player. On the defender front, though, there are a couple of players that we are interested in and that we've been looking at. One of those is Anthony. Now, he's not a defender, so I'll move on from that. But another one is Lisandro Martinez. Now, there's a report in the Times. This was doing the rounds. I think this came out last night from, if we can just see, there's an author, Paul Hurst, friend of the channel. He's been on the channel before. And he says, Manchester United will listen to offers for Erik Bailly, Phil Jones and Axel Tuanzebe this summer as they press ahead with plans to revitalise their squad. And then he goes on to say that United are also hoping to improve the midfield and forward areas. And they are also hoping to bring in a central defender. Lisandro Martinez, the Ajax defender, is among several options being considered. And then he talks about the issues we've got defensively. He says that whilst we've got centre-halves, 6 centre-halves, you've got Maguire, you've got Lindelof and Varane, who we all expect to stay at the club. You've also got Erik Bailly, who's been ravaged by injuries since he arrived at Manchester United. He's played only 113 games since he joined us in 2016. You've got Phil Jones, who obviously his problems and issues are well documented. I'd be very surprised if he had much of a future under Erik ten Hag. And there's also Axel Tuanzebe. Axel Tuanzebe, I think he posted pictures the other day, didn't he, looking hench. The problem with Tuanzebe, he had a bit of a poor loan spell at Napoli. I think he made one start there. Didn't work out for him. Didn't do him any favours. He's just had a bad few years on the Axel Tuanzebe. He had that loan spell to Aston Villa where everything was going really well. Came back to Manchester United, and a lot of people, myself included, thought this is going to be it. He could kick on here and make a stake a claim for first-team football. Didn't really happen. Some good performances, great performance in Paris, of course, but also some below-par ones. You remember the game against Istanbul where he got pulled at half-time? Wasn't great. Went to Napoli, didn't work out. So it looks like, according to the Times here, there could be some sort of transfer, not merry-go-round, but getting rid of a few central defenders and bringing some in. The report also goes to say that Jurrien Timber was a target, but United are now looking at Martinez after it became evident that Timber is unlikely to join after Louis van Gaal sort of had a word with him and said, if you're not in the team, or you're not in the United team, sorry, you won't be in the Dutch squad. People going, well, what about Nathan Ake? He doesn't start for City and all this sort of stuff. I don't know. Some people having a go at Van Gaal saying he's a very bitter man and he's trying to put people off coming to Manchester United. Others saying he's just looking after the interests of the Dutch national side. You can make your own mind up on that one, but it would surprise me if United weren't at least looking at some central defenders. It also goes on to say that in terms of Martinez, the defender is also wanted by Arsenal. They're looking at him as well. And also, Pau Torres, the Villarreal centre-half, is another potential target for United. It's got a little bit quiet on the Pau Torres front. I thought that was something was going to happen. Then it went quiet. I don't know. So it looks like there could be something there with Lisandro Martinez. As always, we'll keep you posted. Anthony, there was a big sort of story last night. We did a scout report on it with Joe Smith. I did an update on the live last night. It looks like United could be in talks there for around a £40 million move. We'll wait and see if anything happens with that. Frenkie de Jong, there was a tweet last night, and I'll just say this quickly just before we wrap up, because I know like Frenkie de Jong is like the main sort of story at the minute, innit? Last night, I think it was Fabrizio Romano who did a tweet about Frenkie de Jong. And to be honest with you, there's just not much movement. He just sort of said United and Barcelona have been in direct contact for Frenkie de Jong. Still no agreement on the fee. As Barcelona told United, they won't sell Frenkie de Jong, for less than €86 million, which I think is around 75 or 73 million quid or whatever it is. Anyway, that's your paper talk today. Going to be back later on tonight. Got the Paddock Live. You can have Joe Smith and David Scott for Round Our Way at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll also have the Instagram live update as well. So make sure you're checking that out. I've been Jay Motty. This has been the paper talk from lovely Eccles. Thanks for watching.